let's go ahead and start with Joy Reid, right? Okay, hold on. We're gonna start. Are y'all ready? Okay, here we go.
Show had value, and that I'm sorry
It's okay.
that that what I was doing had value. Had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like being on TV. So I apologize. And that it kind of, and then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, that or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues. And yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud my show had value, and that I'm sorry that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say,
Okay. So y'all, Joy Reid is speaking out following the cancellation of her MSNBC show, The Read Out, addressing the end of her program with an emotional statement. My show had value. What I was doing had value. And I agree with her. But I also feel like this just means you need to do your own thing. You have the numbers now. You have the people that know who you are. Just do your own thing like Don Lemon did. Like at the end of the day, these people. You know what I'm saying? Do your own thing. I think that is the greatest thing that we have now in our time frame, is that you don't have to be on the news. You don't have to, bend over to some corporation in order to do what you want to do, especially if you're a commentator, especially if you're somebody that works in the news, that you're a journalist. Like, it has become a time where you can't really trust the organizations that you used to trust anyway. You can't trust them because they're being bought by billionaires. So you can't trust the news that they put out. So, I definitely think it's time to focus on people who have big names having their own platforms and not needing to cow to MSNBC, CNN, or any other liberal news organization that has decided that they don't want to deal with the truth. And I think when it comes to the Gaza situation, that's one of those things where it's like the people who you normally expect to be on the right side of something, they're not. And so people have really been speaking out, and we've seen so many people lose jobs because they spoke out about what was going on in Gaza. Like, y'all damn near ruined the next installment of Scream because y'all were mad at the actresses for speaking out about what was going on. So yeah, I think this is actually what Joy needs, so that Joy can say exactly what she wants to say without having to worry about pissing anybody off at MSNBC. Shout out to Plies, who reposted this. He said, Joy has proven to me in 9 minutes that Black women can put up and deal with bullshit, be professional, and do it with a smile on their face. And my only thing that I have to say is this is what you needed to prove that. Child, we don't do that every damn day. Every day that you go to a job and speak the truth, even though you know you're going to be reprimanded for it. I always tell y'all about when I was working at the news station, the moments that I would always feel like I needed to be be anti. I needed to be anti. I needed to say something smart. I needed to say something slick. I needed to let you know that you're full of shit. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was still good at my job. But the moments that I could have the tiniest bit of protest, I would. And I feel like, to me, at some point, it feels like that's what life is turning out to be about. You making the right decision in hard moments, even though it seems like there's always a hard moment. It feels like this life, I don't know what comes after this life, but in this life, it seems like we are always fighting against, for, or to protect something all the time. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you really are trying to be authentic, you are trying to walk what you talk. It is not easy because you are always being tasked with being about what you speak about, being who you say you are. You are always tasked with having to prove that to yourself, not even to anybody else, but proving it to yourself that in these moments that you feel within yourself, I know this isn't right. I know I have to say something. I can't just let this shit fly. This is probably going to harm me. It might fuck up my money, but I have to say what I have to say. I have to do what I have to do because I feel like that's what's right for me to do, especially in a land or a sea where everybody is just going along with the bullshit. Like it's crazy. But yeah, y'all should definitely follow Joy Reid. I'm sure you can just type in Joy Reid on YouTube and find her. As well as everywhere else. Child, Joy Reid is a Googleable person. Okay, I'm sure y'all can find her. With that being said, y'all, shout out to her. Shout out to Rachel Maddow, who did a speech to her, the other night and just talked about how she didn't agree with her losing her show. And there were other people that were moved around. So, I like when people speak out and say what they need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Okay, so let's move on.